Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home. I am at the Pine Valley job. It's been on hold for about 2 months because of the cold weather. We had about 2-3 feet of snow out there about a couple weeks ago. So it was really hard to get in here. My electrician came in, uh, got all that done. My HVAC is done. My plumbing is done. Insulation is done. Just met my drywaller. He's coming up this afternoon to do the drywall in the facility. I wanted to talk about old homes, and I have a belief that in the coming years, new construction is going to wane quite substantially if costs keep increasing, and we have a lot of inflation, which is really on the horizon. Just watch gas prices. If you see gas prices go up, especially per barrel and even your gallon per gas, that's going to escalate costs everywhere. And that's what I usually would watch over the years, what gas, the futures of oil, and the current price per barrel of oil, and it would tell me what gas prices are going to be for the next 6 months or what have you. And I was able to gauge quite successfully what the cost of materials were going to be, because that is a transportation of materials. It's a huge cost. So, long story short, I would not be buying or building new right now. I'd be remodeling old homes. That's the trend that's going to take place. If you remember back in 2008, after the crash of 2008, I'm old enough to remember that, we had a real serious crash. And what happened was a lot of people lost their homes, and there were a lot of homes that were in disarray. A lot of rehabs took place. So look for that down the line. And I wanted to kind of walk you through some of the things, as you've seen with previous videos. I want to walk you through this small home, but it's on almost 2.5 acres. It's in a beautiful, beautiful setting. And you can really, really watch your costs with a remodel, because you don't deal with huge impact fees. You don't deal with a lot of the structural excavation and whatnot, unless you're building out. If it's the existing footprint and you're okay with that existing footprint, you can really hone in on your costs a lot better. We're going to probably remodel this and take it all the way from what it was originally to where it will eventually be for about under $100,000. And so that's not bad. If you're able to buy something that's in really bad shape, rehab it, you can stay within a really nice budget that way. Now, there's some areas that I had to cut on this because I couldn't afford the extra cost. I'm going to walk you through a couple of those. We have a ceiling up here, and we blew in insulation in the ceiling. I didn't want to take that down because the roof structure was just fine over here. There is a section over here where the roof has got a concave to it, and we're going to fix that on the outside when we redo the roof. So we were able to try to stay as nominal in costs on the inside. We do have it insulated, and I did some extra insulation all along this west wall and all along the north wall, because it gets really cold there. We would walk outside the door there and it'd be warmer than back in that room. So that's the coldest part of the house. If I were to do it over again, I'd still do what I did, but I learned a couple of things with getting back into colder climates, and that is we're putting all our heating units down below. So if you see right here, this is our condensate line and also our power, and we're going to have a heating unit, a wall-mounted one right here. And we've got several others throughout the home, but we're putting them low to the ground to keep that heat down low. It would have been nice if I put a heating in the floor, but I chose structural integrity over, a comfort level or a utility savings, because I was really concerned with the foundation. If you've seen previous videos, that's why we poured concrete in this home. But we're keeping our units down low. You can see some more over here. And this will be built in a box, and it will come down, it will come out of the wall here. That way we're pushing heat this way, and the other wall over there is pushing it here, keeping it inside the house. We do have the fireplace installed, but the flue is still waiting on, because we had a foot of snow up on the roof. So we're waiting for that to get finally installed. But it's here. It's there ready to go. The bathroom I made as big as I could. We're going to have a stackable washer and dryer there. We'll have a toilet here, and this will have a walk-in shower. Very comfortable. I, again, don't like thresholds in my shower. So when we poured the concrete, we made sure we had a recessed portion, and then that will have a walk-in shower. You can almost take a wheelchair in there. It'll be that comfortable. Couple of things. We didn't take out the ceiling here on this part, but I just spoke with my drywaller. He says, Keith, let me take it out. I'll rebuild it, and I'll make sure that the drywall meets flush with that. So I was happy with that. We went ahead and started to frame, and as we were framing, I peeked up in the attic and realized that the truss over here was so damaged that we ended up taking out the whole ceiling of this particular area. And we put in some new timber to reinforce that roof. But we didn't take out right here. So he's a nice guy, so he's gonna take that out and beef it up for me, and then he'll have a nice clean ceiling here for drywall. And notice on the old windows, I have new windows coming. I kind of boxed them out. I didn't want to lose the kind of the look of the old window, so we're going to have an extra deep window here. You can see this was the original wall. We actually furred it out because this was an old adobe home, and as a result it didn't have any thermal break. And a thermal break is where there's a break, there's no connectivity. For example, if you were to touch this window right here, this is aluminum, and if you touch it, it's super cold because there's no break in the window, meaning it's solid aluminum from here to the outside. Excuse me, it's dusty in here. So that conducts cold directly from the outside to the inside. So new windows are coming, and they're going to have a nice thermal break in them, and they're going to have a wood clad on the inside, and they'll have a red vinyl on the outside. So that's going to solve for that. It's so cold by this window. It's amazing they built when they did without really thinking about the thermal quality of a window. So that should come in a week or two, and I'll show you some video on that. But I'm going to take pictures of the whole place, make sure I have that on record. I did notice one thing. My plumber took my vent up here, and he took it right up through there, but he stopped in the attic. So I caught that. I got a picture of it. When we repair the roof up there, we're just going to cut in, take that vent pipe up, and make sure we have that. I don't want to vent the sewer into the attic. I want to vent it all the way up. So I caught that. Walk through your site, make sure you see stuff. That's the one thing I caught on this job that we'll make sure we'll take care of. But look at old homes. Don't just walk past them or drive past them. Think about what could be. I'm seeing more and more of that. Boy, it's dusty in here. And I can see there's an incredible opportunity with old homes. Drive by them, take a look at them. Even have a general contractor just look at them and walk you through what could be with that home. Excuse me. Okay, I'm back. I had to go take a drink. I put in some insulation here just a few minutes ago, and I didn't wear a mask, and it was really getting to me. But a couple of things I want you to think about. If you see an old home that really looks like it could be something cool, take a general contractor on the job site and ask them just to walk you through it and get their feeling on what could happen, what could be with that home. You're going to see a lot of that, throughout the country, even in Canada and throughout the world. I think you're going to see a lot of rehabilitation in areas where people have just driven by for years and years and never thought about it. The reason being is there's a couple of advantages to remodeling an old home. You don't have the impact fees that you have with new construction. You typically don't necessarily need a building permit unless you change the footprint or changing sewer or some other things like that. If it's just, kind of a gut and repair and replacement of a couple of things, you can pretty much avoid a permit for most areas. They really don't know what's going on inside the home. I've remodeled a lot of homes over the years, and I really didn't need a permit on those. I do have a remodel coming up where I'm taking off the roof and I'm expanding out the home. That's a different story. I do have a permit required in that particular situation. But keep your eyes open. And typically older homes have more land. Just take a look at the foundation of the home. That's probably your biggest clue. Look for cracks in the foundation. Look how stable it is. On this home, we're going to probably do a deck out here and a deck out on the east side, mainly because I want to have a membrane deck, a fully enclosed deck, to keep water sheeting away from the home. From now on, I want water away from the home. There was some settling over on this corner of the home. That's because they didn't have enough earth on the home on the outside, and a rain gutter dropped all kinds of water right there and puddled year after year after year, and that loosened the soil below and it settled. So again, make sure that you can look at the home, see if there's any settling, see if there's any water that's damaged the home. That's your biggest clue. That's your biggest thing you want to look for on old homes, is to see how much damage the weather has taken on that home over the years. I'm going to check back with you with one or two more final posts on this home. It's been a challenge. We're trying to stay within budget for a person's needs, a good friend of ours, and hopefully we'll come to a finish here within about 45 days to maybe a month and a half and get it all wrapped up. This has been a fun project, but a challenging one. But don't pass by these old homes. I'm not going to do that anymore. I've done a lot of these, and they're fun. Some of them I want to blade, but a lot of them I just want to rehab. So this is Keith Kelch with How to Build Your Own Home.